Nobody tells you this when you collect your state pension. There are rules inside Tesco and Sainsbury's that the stores follow but never advertise. Loopholes hiding in plain sight on every aisle, every receipt, every loyalty app screen. Number 17 on this list has saved one Birmingham grandmother over £400 since January alone. And number 6 is so effective that a store manager in Leeds admitted, off the record, they hope most customers never find out about it. These are not coupons from the back of a magazine. These are structural flaws in how British supermarkets price, discount, and shift stock. Flaws that pensioners on fixed incomes can exploit legally, quietly, and repeatedly. Before we start, subscribe now because this list is the kind of thing that gets shared in church halls and over garden fences for good reason. Let us count down all 25. Number 25. The yellow sticker evening window. Every Tesco, Sainsbury's and Asda in Britain follows roughly the same markdown schedule. But most shoppers get the timing wrong. They show up at closing and find empty shelves. The real yellow sticker window opens between 7 and 8 in the evening at most large Tesco stores, when staff begin the first round of reductions. Sainsbury's tends to start slightly earlier, around 6:30 at many locations. These are not the final markdowns yet. These are the first drops, often 25 to 50% off. Meat, fish, bread, ready meals, salads. The trick is not arriving at the last minute, when everything decent has gone. The trick is arriving at the start of the first markdown and picking selectively. One retired couple in Sunderland mapped their local Tesco schedule across 3 weeks and now shops exclusively in that window. Their weekly spend dropped from £62 to £23. They freeze what they cannot eat within 2 days. That is a saving of over £2,000 a year on a state pension of just under £10,000. Number 24. Clubcard price versus shelf price gaps. Tesco Clubcard prices look like loyalty rewards. In reality, they are often the actual market price, and the shelf price is artificially inflated to make the discount look dramatic. A block of Cathedral City cheddar might show a shelf price of £4.50 with a Clubcard price of £3. But the same cheese at Aldi costs £2.89 without any card at all. The loophole is this: if you must shop at Tesco, never shop without scanning your Clubcard. But more importantly, compare the Clubcard price against Aldi and Lidl before assuming you are getting a deal. Pensioners who do not own smartphones can request a physical Clubcard at the customer service desk for free. No app needed, no email needed, just the card. Yet Tesco never promotes this at the door. They assume if you do not have the app, you will pay the inflated shelf price without question. One woman in Wrexham told a consumer group she had been overpaying by roughly £11 a week for 2 years before her granddaughter set her up with a card. Number 23. Sainsbury's Nectar price matching trick. Sainsbury's runs Nectar prices the same way Tesco runs Clubcard prices. But here is the part most pensioners miss. Nectar points can be converted into money-off vouchers at a rate that sometimes doubles during promotional periods. In December and March especially, Sainsbury's often runs double-up events, where 500 points worth £2.50 suddenly become £5 off selected products. The loophole is to collect Nectar points through the autumn and hold them until a double-up event. A pensioner spending £40 a week accumulates roughly enough points across 12 weeks to get £15 to £20 in doubled value. That is a free week of shopping generated from loyalty points alone. The store banks on most customers spending points immediately on small treats. Patience is the weapon they do not expect from you. Number 22. The bread aisle markdown cycle. Supermarket bread follows a strict sell-by rotation. Loaves baked in store at Tesco and Sainsbury's that do not sell by mid-afternoon are reduced by late afternoon, often to as little as 11 pence for a full loaf. The loophole pensioners use is simple: buy reduced bread and freeze it the same day. A standard home freezer can hold 10 to 15 loaves easily. At 11 pence per loaf versus £1.35 full price, that is a saving of over 90%. One loaf a day across a year means the difference between spending nearly £500 on bread and spending about £450 saved on bread alone. Retired bakers who understand dough will tell you that frozen bread, thawed properly at room temperature for 2 hours, is indistinguishable from fresh. The supermarkets know this. They would rather you did not. Number 21. Scan as you shop, price errors. Both Tesco and Sainsbury's operate scan as you shop systems, where you scan items yourself as you fill the trolley. Here is what almost nobody knows. If the price scanned at the till does not match the shelf label, you are entitled to the lower price. Tesco's own policy, listed in their terms of service but never displayed prominently, states that if there is a pricing discrepancy, the customer should receive the item at the lower displayed price. Some stores go further and give you the item free if the error is in their favor, though this varies by branch and manager discretion. Pensioners who scan carefully and check the receipt against shelf labels before leaving the store regularly catch 1 to 3 errors per shop. On a £40 trolley, that can mean £2 to £5 back every single week. Number 20. The substitution upgrade on home delivery. Tesco and Sainsbury's home delivery services both substitute out-of-stock items. The loophole that delivery-savvy pensioners exploit is this. If the store substitutes your item with something more expensive, you only pay the original lower price. But if they substitute with something cheaper, you can reject the substitution and get a refund for the item entirely. Some pensioners deliberately order products they know are frequently out of stock, particularly own-brand items in specific sizes, because the substitution is almost always a branded equivalent at no extra cost. One gentleman in Cheltenham orders Sainsbury's own brand salmon fillets every week. 3 times out of 4 he receives branded Scottish salmon fillets worth nearly double. He pays the own brand price every time. Number 19. Wonky vegetable ranges. Tesco's Perfectly Imperfect range and Sainsbury's Imperfectly Tasty range sell fruit and vegetables that are cosmetically flawed but nutritionally identical. Crooked carrots, knobbly potatoes, undersized apples. The price difference is typically 30 to 50% less than the standard range. A bag of Wonky carrots at Tesco costs around 42 pence versus 75 pence for the regular bag. Over a year, a pensioner buying 5 Wonky items a week saves roughly between £80 and £120. The produce is identical inside. The only difference is shape. Yet supermarkets keep these ranges in low visibility spots, sometimes at the bottom of the display or tucked around a corner. They exist because of pressure from food waste campaigns, not because the stores want you buying cheaper products. Number 18. The Aldi price match list nobody reads. Tesco and Sainsbury's both run Aldi price match schemes. Hundreds of everyday items are price matched to Aldi equivalents. But the lists are buried deep in the app and almost never displayed in store at the point of sale. The loophole is to pull up the Aldi price match list before you shop and build your trolley around those items. A pensioner who shops exclusively from the Tesco Aldi price match list can build a weekly trolley for roughly the same cost as shopping at Aldi, but with the convenience of a closer Tesco and the ability to collect Clubcard points on top. That is a double benefit. Aldi prices plus Clubcard rewards. Yet Tesco spends almost nothing promoting this in store. They would rather you wandered the aisles and picked up full-price items by impulse. First pattern break. Here is where the real savings starts stacking. Everything above this point trims your bill by a few pounds a week. Everything below this point restructures how you shop entirely. Number 17. The reduced to clear meat freezing system. This is the single biggest money saver on the entire list for pensioners who eat meat. Tesco and Sainsbury's reduce fresh meat by up to 75% on its use-by date. A pack of chicken thighs that costs £3.50 drops to 87 pence. A sirloin steak worth £6 drops to £1.50. The loophole is that use-by dates apply to fresh storage only. Once frozen on the day of purchase, that meat is safe to eat for up to 3 to 4 months, according to Food Standards Agency guidelines. One retired nurse in Swansea buys nothing but reduced meat. She visits her local Tesco every evening at 7:30, buys whatever protein is marked down, and fills her chest freezer. Her monthly meat bill dropped from around £90 to under £20. That is nearly £850 a year saved on protein alone. She meal plans backwards, building the week's dinners around whatever she found reduced. No waste, no compromise on quality, just timing. Number 16. Own brand versus branded blindfold test. Tesco Stockwell and Sainsbury's Stamford Street ranges sit at the very bottom of the price ladder. Most shoppers walk past them assuming the quality is poor. But consumer testing by Which magazine has repeatedly shown that in blind taste tests, own brand basics are rated equal to or above branded equivalents in categories including tinned tomatoes, pasta, rice, flour, tea bags, and biscuits. The price gap is staggering. A tin of Stockwell chopped tomatoes costs 28p. A tin of Napolina costs £1.15. The contents are virtually identical, both packed by Italian suppliers, often from the same factories. A pensioner who swaps 10 branded staples for bottom-tier own-brand equivalents saves roughly £6 to £8 a week. That is over £350 a year. The branding exists to make you feel like the cheap option is inferior. The factory labels tell a different story. Number 15. The Sainsbury's Smart Shop rounding trick. When you use Sainsbury's Smart Shop self-scan on items priced per kilogram, the rounding sometimes works in the customer's favor on loose produce. If you weigh 387 grams of bananas priced at 95p per kilo, the system might round to 36p, rather than the precise 36.765p. Across 20 loose items per shop, the rounding errors accumulate to between 30p and £1 in the customer's favor. Tiny individually, but consistent over time. Pensioners who buy most of their fruit and vegetables loose rather than pre-packed benefit from both the lower per-unit price and the systematic rounding. Over a year, this alone saves between £15 and £50, depending on how many loose items you buy. Number 14. The quiet hour advantage. Tesco and Sainsbury's both offer designated quiet hours, originally introduced for customers with autism or sensory needs. But there is an unintended benefit. During quiet hours, stores reduce music, dim lights, and most importantly, staff are specifically instructed to be more helpful and patient. For pensioners who struggle with the self-checkout machines, need help reading labels, or want to query a price, quiet hour is the best time to shop. Staff engagement during these periods is noticeably higher. Pensioners who shop during quiet hours report fewer impulse purchases because the environment is calmer. Fewer promotional announcements play over the speakers, and end-of-aisle displays feel less aggressive. One shopper in Bristol documented a consistent £3 to £4 drop in her weekly spend simply by switching from Saturday afternoon to Tuesday quiet hour morning. The calm environment changed her behavior more than any coupon ever could. Number 13. The loyalty app gamification trap, reversed. Both Tesco and Sainsbury's apps push challenges. Spend £20 on dairy this month for a bonus 100 points. Buy 3 packs of biscuits and earn extra Nectar points. These are designed to make you spend more than you would otherwise. The reversal loophole is to accept only the challenges you would complete anyway, based on your normal shopping list, and ignore the rest entirely. A pensioner who cherry-picks app challenges that align with existing purchases collects bonus points without increasing spend. One couple in Norfolk earns roughly £15 a month in extra Clubcard vouchers by accepting every challenge that matches their regular list and rejecting every challenge that would require buying something new. The app thinks it is manipulating them. They are manipulating the app. Second pattern break. This is where it gets controversial, because the next set of loopholes exploits policies the supermarkets created to look generous, but never expected anyone to actually use systematically. Number 12. The Tesco Price Guarantee Receipt Check. Tesco used to run an explicit price guarantee scheme. That formal scheme ended, but the underlying price match policy still exists in a quieter form through Clubcard. However, the real loophole sits in Tesco's complaint resolution process. If a pensioner contacts Tesco customer service with evidence that they were overcharged on a Clubcard price, charged full price despite scanning a Clubcard, or received a substitution they did not want, Tesco's resolution team almost always issues goodwill vouchers. These are not formal entitlements, they are discretionary gestures. But Tesco's customer service training prioritizes retention of loyal customers, especially elderly ones. Polite, clear communication about a genuine pricing issue consistently results in vouchers ranging from £2 to £5. A pensioner who checks every receipt and contacts customer service once a month about legitimate discrepancies recovers on average £20 to £40 a year in goodwill vouchers. Number 11. The Loss Leader Trolley Build. Every week, Tesco and Sainsbury's sell certain items at or below cost price to draw you into the store. These are called loss leaders. Whole chickens, milk, bread, bananas, eggs. The supermarkets expect you to walk past these, toss them in the trolley, and then fill the rest with full margin products. The loophole is to shop exclusively from the loss leader list and buy nothing else. Tesco's weekly offers flyer, available free in store and on the app, lists these items clearly. A pensioner who builds an entire trolley from loss leaders and reduced items can leave the store having spent £12 to £15 on what would normally be a £40 shop. The store loses money on that trolley. That is precisely why this works. They are subsidizing your groceries to attract full-price shoppers, and there is nothing stopping you from being the only kind of customer who shows up. Number 10. The Sainsbury's Taste the Difference Reduced Double Win. Sainsbury's Taste the Difference range is their premium line. Higher quality ingredients, better packaging, more expensive. But when Taste the Difference products hit their use-by date, they get reduced by the same percentage as basic lines. A £6.50 Taste the Difference lasagna drops to £1.60. Premium sausages worth £4 go down to £1. The loophole is that you end up eating premium food at basic prices, simply by buying reduced. Pensioners who target Taste the Difference reductions specifically, rather than grabbing any yellow sticker, eat dramatically better without spending a penny more. One retired teacher in Edinburgh feeds herself Taste the Difference meals 5 nights a week for less than £12. She told a local newspaper she eats better now on her pension than she did on her salary. Number 9. The bulk buy unit price comparison. Every shelf label in Tesco and Sainsbury's shows a unit price in small text. Price per 100 grams or price per litre. This number, not the sticker price, tells you the actual cost of what you are buying. The loophole is that bigger packs are not always cheaper per unit. In fact, Tesco and Sainsbury's frequently price medium-sized packs lower per unit than the large economy size, hoping you will grab the big pack without checking. A pensioner who compares unit prices on every item, taking 5 extra seconds per product, routinely saves between £3 and £7 per shop. Over a year, that is £150 to £350. The unit price is legally required on the label. The supermarkets cannot hide it, but they can make the font very, very small. Number 8. The pharmacy and toiletries aisle markup dodge. Tesco and Sainsbury's pharmacy aisles carry branded painkillers, cold remedies, and vitamins at prices 3 to 5 times higher than the own brand equivalents sitting on the same shelf. Branded ibuprofen costs £2.50 for 16 tablets. Tesco own brand ibuprofen costs 35 pence for the same 16 tablets. Same dose, same active ingredient, manufactured to the same pharmaceutical standards. For pensioners managing chronic pain or taking daily supplements, this single swap saves between £80 and £200 a year, depending on how many products you switch. The branded packaging exists because marketing works. The chemical contents are regulated by law to be identical. Number 7. The end-of-aisle trap awareness. End-of-aisle displays in Tesco and Sainsbury's are premium advertising space. Brands pay thousands of pounds per week for those positions. The products on end-of-aisle displays are almost never the cheapest option in that category. They are the most profitable option for the store. A pensioner who ignores every end-of-aisle display and walks directly to the shelf to find the cheapest unit price avoids the single most effective psychological pricing tool in the supermarket. Studies by the University of Manchester found that end-of-aisle products are purchased at 4 times the rate of the same item on the regular shelf, despite being the same price or even more expensive. The display implies discount. The price says otherwise. Third pattern break. The final stretch. These last 6 loopholes are the ones that supermarket executives genuinely dislike being made public. They work, they are legal, and they depend entirely on information the stores would prefer you never had. Number 6. The Tesco whoosh and Sainsbury's chop-chop markdown overlap. Both Tesco and Sainsbury's operate rapid delivery services from their stores. The stock allocated for rapid delivery that does not sell within the delivery window gets marked down faster than regular shelf stock because it was picked and set aside, then returned to the shop floor when unclaimed. In stores with active delivery hubs, there is often a second wave of yellow sticker reductions between 2 and 4 in the afternoon, specifically from returned delivery stock. Pensioners who live near these stores get a second bite at reduced items hours before the main evening markdown even begins. Most shoppers have no idea this afternoon reduction happens. It is not advertised. It is simply the result of stock management logistics. Number 5. The freezer section date illusion. Frozen food in Tesco and Sainsbury's carries best before dates, not use by dates. Best before is a quality indicator, not a safety deadline. Frozen vegetables, frozen fish, frozen bread, and frozen fruit are safe to eat well beyond the printed date if they have been stored properly. The loophole is that Tesco and Sainsbury's sometimes reduce frozen items approaching their best before date, even though the food is perfectly fine for months afterward. A pensioner who buys reduced frozen goods and understands the difference between use by and best before can stock a freezer with safe, nutritious food at a fraction of the cost. The Food Standards Agency confirms this distinction clearly, yet supermarkets benefit from customers treating every date as a hard deadline. Number 4. The Sainsbury's and Tesco hot food counter final hour. Both chains operate hot food counters, serving rotisserie chickens, pizza slices, and prepared meals. In the final hour before the counter closes, typically 7 to 8 in the evening, these items are reduced aggressively, sometimes to £1 or less. A full rotisserie chicken that costs £6 at lunchtime can drop to £2 at 7:30. That single chicken provides a hot dinner, sandwiches the next day, and the carcass makes a pot of soup for a third meal. 3 meals from one £2 chicken. Pensioners who time their visit to the hot counter closing window eat better and cheaper than those buying raw ingredients at full price. Number 3. The Christmas and Easter seasonal dump. In the 2 weeks following Christmas and Easter, Tesco and Sainsbury's slash seasonal stock by up to 90%. Chocolates, biscuits, crackers, puddings, preserves, tinned goods with festive packaging, all of it drops to pennies. The loophole is that seasonal packaging does not change the contents. Christmas pudding bought in January for 30p is the same pudding that cost £4.50 in December. Mince pies reduced to 10p a box freeze perfectly. Pensioners who buy seasonal goods after the event and store them for the following year spend almost nothing on Christmas food. One couple in Doncaster has not paid full price for Christmas food since 2019. Their annual December grocery bill is under £15. Number 2. The Tesco reduced bakery to freezer pipeline. Tesco's in-store bakery produces fresh bread, rolls, croissants, pastries, and cakes daily. Anything unsold by late afternoon gets reduced, first by 50% and then by 75%, approaching closing time. A pensioner who arrives at the right window can buy 6 croissants for 20p, a full tiger loaf for 11p, a box of donuts for 15p. All of it freezes perfectly. Croissants reheat from frozen in 8 minutes at 180 degrees and taste identical to fresh. A pensioner with a chest freezer who visits the bakery reduction window 3 times a week builds a supply of baked goods that would cost £40 to £50 at full price for under £3. This alone saves over £2,000 a year. Number 1. The compound loophole stack. Every trick on this list works on its own, but the real power, the method that genuinely slashes a trolley by 70%, comes from stacking them together. A pensioner who shops during yellow sticker hours, uses a Clubcard or Nectar card, builds the trolley around loss leaders, buys own brand basics, compares unit prices, targets the hot counter closing window, and freezes reduced meat and bakery items, does not save 10%. They save 60 to 75% consistently, week after week. The numbers are not theoretical. A pensioner in Wolverhampton tracked every receipt for 6 months. Her average weekly spend before using these methods was £68. After applying the full stack, her average dropped to £19. Same quantity of food, same nutritional quality, often better quality because of reduced premium items. £49 saved every single week. That is over £2,500 a year back in the pocket of someone living on a state pension. Here is the truth the supermarkets rely on. They rely on you not knowing the schedule, not reading the small print, not checking the unit price, not understanding the difference between use by and best before, not realizing that patience, timing, and a chest freezer are more powerful than any coupon book. These loopholes are not cheating. They are the rational response to a system designed to extract the maximum amount of money from people who have the least of it. Try 3 of these next week. Just 3. Track your receipt. Then come back and tell me the number. Tell me what your trolley cost before and after. Share it in the comments because every pensioner who reads your number learns something the supermarket spent millions hoping they never would. Your grandmother stretched a shilling across a week. Now you can stretch a pension across a month. The tools changed. The principle never did.